Hello everybody, Mannix here. I already did a knife review on this cold steel Luzon, or Luzon, however you say that, large size. And taking nothing back from that review, this knife kicks absolute ass for its price. Cheapest I've ever seen these things was $27 on Amazon. That's a scary, suspiciously good deal for this size knife and everything you're getting. However, typically you're going to spend closer to 35 bucks on this thing, which is still a very, very, very good deal. 6-inch blade on here, thumb studs and flipper, whips out every single time with no wrist movement required. There's no ball bearings on there or anything. They're just plain old washers. Look how impressive that is. That's no wrist movement. You kidding me? A 6-inch blade, FRN handles, fully skeletonized stainless steel liners too. I usually don't really care that much for a knife being as lightweight as possible, but if you care, these are aggressively skeletonized, which is another step. It's another process in the manufacturing procedure of making the knife. And how they managed to keep the costs so low, I don't know. These retail at $69.99 as I'm filming this. You can get these all day long for about 35 bucks. We have an 8-13 MOV blade steel, which is not fantastic, but it's good enough. It's pretty soft, so you can get them nice and sharp real quick, as long as you know what you're doing. Aside from just being a liner lock, we have the leaf spring locking mechanism on here, which is a lock for the lock. That's also a huge advantage. So a 6-inch blade, fully skeletonized steel liners, nice cutouts right here on the handle too, by the way. I like the texturing on here. I like the design. It's kind of like a bamboo look. It's cool. It's pretty much just aesthetic, though. It doesn't really matter that much, but aside from that, it is ergonomic. A lot of reach right here. It's going to outperform pretty much any other folder in the world, other than a few cold steel exceptions, like the XL Espada. But other than that, it's going to be tricky to find a knife longer than this one. So not only do we have a decent blade steel, but we have a very fast deployment, a good lockup. It's just a liner lock, but again, lock for the lock. Now we have a very good lockup. I don't know what to say that's bad about this thing. It's pretty extreme design. You know, it's really long and slim. I like the guard on there too, but it's going to be kind of limited in what you can do with it. But as a defense knife, look no further. If you're trying to save money, you want to save as much money as possible, you just want a cheap knife that you can depend on if your life was ever put in that situation. You want as much reach as possible. You want it to deploy out as fast as possible with no screwing around. It's not even automatic either, by the way. And again, it's got some strength too because you got that leaf spring lock. If it was just a liner lock, I'd be like, I don't know about that. I don't think liner locks are too weak, but compared to pretty much every other locking mechanism out there on the market, they're not the strongest by any means. But again, with that leaf spring lock, now all of a sudden that's not an issue. Yeah, you have to manually engage it, but so what? Even if you don't use it, yeah, it's still a fine locking mechanism. But you got that bonus. So what's the point of this video I'm making? Of all the knives that have passed through my hands, of everything I've seen on the market in the past 20 years or so, as far as the price is concerned, I've never seen a better folding knife option for tactical and defensive use. Again, 6-inch blade. This knife is absolute massive. It's a beast. It's kind of slim, you know, instead of being like really wide like some other cold steels, like just because I have it on the table right now. Like this large Espada right here. You might argue this and that. This might be better for defense. Maybe you might argue the blade shape's better. The triad lock is certainly a hell of a lot more stronger than the liner lock right there. You can wave this off of your pocket. But this one's closer to 150 bucks. This guy right here is closer to 35 bucks. You could buy many Luzons before you get one of these. So that is something to consider. For the price point, I really can't think of a better knife out there. It's kind of scary how they keep the price so low on this piece. Again, I saw this for as low as $27. $27? That's approaching Gonzo territory. That's scary low. Just because I have it here on the table as well. Spyderco, well, actually I brought this for this video specifically. One of my favorite knives ever, the Spyderco Resilience Lightweight. This one retails at 86 bucks. This guy right here retails at $69.99. So $16 more and 1 penny more in retail for this Resilience. These in the aftermarket are closer to 60 bucks. Again, 35 right here. So an additional 25 for the Resilience instead of this guy right here. Now, why did I bring this one up? The price point, resilience is more expensive, but we have the same exact materials. They both have 8CR13 MOV blade steels. They both have satin finishes, so those are pretty much the same. They're both liner locks. They both have FRN handle scales. We have quite a different pattern on there, but they're the same material. We have skeletonized stainless steel liners in both of them. Turn my flashlight on so you can see. Boop. There we go. That's better. So, you can even see by the length alone, we have a lot more material to play with as far as the Luzon is concerned. It's a much thicker knife, too. Backspacer in there, by the way, instead of being pillar construction. Pocket clip's quite different. I don't dig the FRN pocket clip, but it is what it is. Not swappable to the left side. I will give that a hit. Cold Steel, you were so close to making this the most perfect knife ever, but you didn't, because it's not lefty-friendly. But then again, because it's a liner lock, maybe they didn't really care anyway. Sorry, lefties. It's unfortunate, but the Resilience cares. That's a lefty-friendly knife, and you can swap it to tip down. Not that anybody gives a crap, but you can. Sorry if you're that guy who likes tip down. I didn't mean to make fun of you. But the whole point of this video I'm trying to make is, I'm not trying to knock Spyderco or anything. I love Spyderco. But as far as price is concerned, just for long knives, there's no reason not to get the Luzon instead of the Resilience. The Resilience has its own advantages, understood. But as far as defense goes, you just want as much reach as possible. The Luzon easily wins. Easily. Again, $35, $60, $86 retail, $70 retail. Way longer. This is already a really long knife, by the way. It's a long knife. I think it's 4.2 inch blade, something like that. But that's a long knife. It's a long ass folding knife. But this Luzon, there's like no comparison. It's much, 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 much longer, and we have the exact same materials. Same blade steel, same finish, same handle materials. They both have steel liners. They're both skeletonized. Pocket clip's different, sure. We have a lock for the lock on the Luzon. We don't have that on the Resilience. So for price alone, I can't find a single knife that beats the Luzon when it comes to defense. I just can't. Can you think of any? You might find some weird Chinese company out there that rips off U.S. designs and such. You might be able to find something like this for this price, but good luck having the quality the same. I don't think it's going to be quite as consistent or reliable. I just don't know. So, all things considered, Resilience is still a great knife. Don't get me wrong, $60 isn't too bad. It's not cheap either for the blade steel you're getting. I feel like they could do better, but Spyderco recently raised their prices across the board. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Great knife, by the way, but for less money and you get more of the same materials for something like this, just using this as an example, you can't go wrong with this Luzon. For the money, it's the best defensive knife out there for the sub $40 range, as far as reach is concerned, period. Can you name anything better than this for the money? I can't.